This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome and thank you for coming to the U.S. Department of Energy Solar Decathlon webinar on Organize Your Project Report for the 2020 Design Challenge. My name is Rachel Romero and I'm your competition manager for the Design Challenge. And joining me today we have Holly Carr from the U.S. Department of Energy and Zach Peterson, the Assistant Competition Manager. Today, we will have some congratulatory remarks from Holly. I'll be going over some competition information, giving you more details about your project report submission, and then Zach will be covering details on that submission and some next steps to get going. And then finally, we'll cover some information about Design Challenge Weekend so you can get ready for that. So with that, Holly will congratulate you on the work you've done to date.
Hey everybody, this is Holly Carr. Great to speak with you. Thanks for joining the webinar or listening in later. First off, you all should give yourselves a little round of applause. You have already worked very hard in this competition just to get to this point. Going through the building science curriculum, you have already learned critical new skills, doing those designs, working in interdisciplinary teams. You're applying those skills to get those designs put together and learning to collaborate across disciplines, work with folks outside of your department or your major that you may be familiar with. And you're really starting to put together visionary building designs. And that's exactly what we want to see. Those visionary designs, we're hoping you will move forward with really putting together a final project package that is compelling and convincing and inspiring. Next slide, please. All right, so whether or not you are a finalist team in this year's Design Challenge, you will have the opportunity to experience the National Renewable Energy Lab and Design Challenge Weekend. If you are a finalist team, you may bring up to 5 students and 1 faculty member to NREL, to Golden, Colorado, to be a part of the Design Challenge Weekend. If you are not selected as a finalist team, you still have this opportunity to send a representative from your team to experience Design Challenge Weekend at NREL and to represent your team with a poster during our poster session and to participate in all of the activities and the events of the weekend. Just a sampling of the experience that you will have during Design Challenge Weekend. Lots of networking, lots of opportunity to check out the competition, if you will, and benchmark your work against schools and teams coming from all over the country and indeed around the world. You will have the opportunity to present in front of national experts that we have brought to our juries to listen to your presentations and provide you feedback. You'll have the opportunity to learn from thought leaders who are going to be presenting throughout the weekend and who are on our jury panels. We have a Career Connections event that will take place on Sunday. Fantastic opportunity to speak one-on-one with folks who are hiring people like you. So we really hope that you'll be able to take advantage of that Career Connections event and all the opportunities to start up conversations and talk about careers throughout the weekend. Of course, we are walking the talk at NREL. It's a tremendous facility. We will have most of our competition events in the Research Support Facility, or RSF, which is a zero energy building. And you'll be able to take a tour of that facility as well as the other buildings on campus and really get a sense of the work that NREL does and the fantastic example that it is for zero energy buildings. And finally, you'll have the opportunity to be recognized for all of the work that you have done throughout this academic year. We're really looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible at that event in Golden. So this is a photo of our winning team from last year from Virginia Tech. These folks, as well as all of our competitors who go through this process, who make the effort to complete the project, to work through those designs and show them off, you are the future of this industry. You really are the leaders who are going to move forward and lead this entire buildings industry into the next generation and really step up both the performance and the aesthetics and the vision for what we can do in buildings. So I just want to leave you with a message of congratulations. Wherever you end up in this competition, you are already a winner. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Holly. All right, we're going to dive into some competition information. As always, we like to remind you that the design challenge rules, you should be referring back to them throughout the competition. We do have a new edition as of January with some minor changes, but overall it is the same document. So make sure you're referring back to those as you prepare your submissions and prepare to come to Design Challenge Weekend. So at this point, you have submitted your project progress report, and the next deliverable is due March 31st as the project report. Do note that after that, and we'll talk a little bit about this, project presentations, posters, and films are due, and then Design Challenge Weekend. Everything culminates in that. So we look forward to seeing you on April 17th. So some additional information about the project report. So this deliverable, as I said, is due March 31st, and it has a couple of sections and pieces to it. First, the project report document has section 1, which is your project progress report. All of the deliverables are meant to be additive. So your project introduction goes into your project progress report. Your updated project progress report goes into your project report. So that's section 1, is your project progress report. Then section 2 is the contents narrative, and then there's additional appendices that are described in the rules. Then there's the supplemental, which is optional, and then we request that you submit project images also March 31st, separate from your project report. So in the project report, as with your other submissions, the front matter is not included in the page count. So your cover page is a freebie page. Use it wisely. You have your table of contents, which is helpful for our jurors to find the information that they're looking for if they want to go back and look for that. And if, as applicable, a list of tables or figures to also help our jurors find content in your project report. So as I said, the section 1 is the project progress report. This is up to 9 pages. I know we had some confusion over the page count for the project progress report, but the 10th page in the project progress report is the kind of your completion plan, which now that you're in the project report, we don't need to hear about your completion plan because hopefully you're complete. Include your project introduction, which does include that project summary. Please update that. If you're a winning team, and we hope that you are, we will pull that project summary out, and a lot of industry partners look at that. Architects and engineers are interested in learning about your project in a quick summary. Include your team information and any additional information, and then your design constraints and design goals in that section 1. So then in section 2, this is the contest narrative. So we're really looking for teams to tell us about their design in regards to each of the contest narratives. So please carefully review the narratives and think about how you're going to include this information. So energy performance, engineering, and then we recommend about 3 pages each, but we do say up to 27 pages for this section too. Please note, as discussed on our all-team calls, that you may have 3 additional pages at the conclusion of section 2 if you choose to participate in our embodied environmental impact contest. So please see the project site and the all-team calls for more information on that. All right, in the appendices, this is where you can put your design renderings, up to 5 pages, and then your construction documentation highlights. So think about what the jurors want to see for your design and give them the appropriate information, and we have a suggested list here to include. And then also in the appendices is your energy performance information. So this would be additional documentation based on your division. Residential divisions, you're going to give information about your HERS index rating. And then commercial divisions will give information about your EUI target and the information requested there. Okay, the supplemental documentation is optional. We do state that this may not be read by the jurors, and this is just additional information that you maybe could not include in your project report that may be helpful for you to refer to. So it could include additional financial analysis details, any equipment specifications, or just supporting calculations. So if you're interested in adding more information, but that is not a required document. We love project images. This is a great way to see quickly into your team. So we'd like you to submit 3 images. Here you can see that the variety that we're looking for. Pick 2 images that best represent your projects, whether that be renderings or drawings or a scale model. And then include 1 image of your team. We love to see who's on your team. Sometimes you take it by your school sign or in your engineering department or in wherever your classes are, and we love to see your team's personality in those. Those may show up in places throughout Design Challenge weekend, so submit some great photos. We love to see those. All right, some format requirements for your project report. Please limit the content pages to 65 pages, and that is adding up all the pages. Please number your pages to help the jurors review that. The supplemental is no more than 100 pages, and the jurors will have limited time or may not review it at all. So just keep that in mind as you're putting that together. And then the project images, just please name those appropriately to help the organizers keep those organized. The format requirements are similar to previous submissions. We would like a single bookmark PDF. There are instructions on the project site for that. And then we do provide some information about the project images on resolution, aspect ratio, and file type. So just take a moment to review those in the rules. All right, so when you submit your project report, we will have assigned 3 to 5 jurors to your division, and they will convene within your division. So for mixed-use multifamily, we will have 3 to 5 jurors, and then they will review up to 8 finalist teams and their project reports within the division. And they will do a preliminary score based on the project report that they review before they arrive at Design Challenge weekend. So when jurors arrive at Design Challenge Weekend, and this picture is a great example of what it looks like. You can see the team presenting up front and the jurors at the front table listening to the presentation and then asking questions. So the jurors will modify their scores based on the project presentation and the question and answer period right after your presentation. The division jurors panels will then select a first place, a second place, and honorable mention award in each division based on meeting the overall design intent of the competition and the team's understanding of the contest within the competition. Just to help teams understand what is going on, we do have an evaluation scale that we recommend for our jurors, and that is posted in the rules. But once the first, second, and honorable mention awards are given, then our first place teams will deliver an 8-minute presentation at the awards banquet. We ask that teams prepare that in advance in the hopes that you will be a first place team and get to deliver this grand jury presentation. We do ask our division jurors to develop written feedback for the teams so that will be available on the project site following the competition, and the organizers will notify teams when that is available. So with that, I'll turn it over to Zach for some additional information.
Thank you, Rachel. So we're going to talk about some of the submission details for the project report. First, I know we keep reminding everyone this, but please ensure your submissions are bookmarked PDFs. This is extremely helpful to the jurors who are going through hundreds of pages of submissions to be able to quickly identify what sections they're looking for in their reports and get to that content review. So if you are confused about what that is, check out the example project summary in the quick links on the project site. And we also have a document under the quick links that explains how to create a bookmark PDF. Another important organizational aspect of the submission is the file naming convention that we've dictated to the teams. So you can see here, this file naming convention provides us with the challenge type, so design challenge or build challenge, the division you're in, your short name, what deliverable we're looking at, and the date on which it was submitted. So this is, again, super helpful for the organizers. It makes sure that we can get your submissions to the correct jurors and that they're not lost in the process. So it's extremely important to follow this file naming convention. So the Collegiate short name list is posted on the project site. Again, your short name should be included in the file naming convention that's been outlined. And this may be different than what you traditionally think of as your short name for your college, but please use the one that we specify. So after you submit your project report, there is still a lot of steps to keep going with this challenge. So make sure you continue to engage with us, the organizers here, and ask questions, and we'll help you as we can for you to be successful. So as Rachel mentioned earlier, the project presentation for each division is a big step. So each team will actually develop 2 different presentations. The first is a 25-minute presentation given to the division jurors in person on that Saturday. And following that 25 minutes, there will be an additional 10 minutes reserved for the jurors to ask you questions. So this is your long presentation of the 2. The second presentation you will develop is the grand jury presentation. So again, this is only given by the first place winners of each division, but every team should develop this presentation in the expectation that they will be presenting on Sunday. And so these presentations are given to our 3 grand jurors at the awards banquet on Sunday, and it should be 8 minutes in length. And please note there will be no question and answer period following these presentations. And typically these are unique from the division jury presentations. please review the rules to see what the grand jurors will be evaluating the teams on. So for the format requirements, these presentations should be formatted as a PDF or a PPTX, and you are encouraged to embed any videos that you may have into the presentation. If this is the route you're going, please also send the organizers an email to let us know that you have embedded the videos so that we can open your presentation and ensure they work with our AV system and that you don't have any technical hiccups on Saturday when you're presenting. The division presentations do not have a size limit, but the grand juror presentations are limited to 60 megabytes, so please make sure you're paying attention to that as you're developing your presentation. And also note the difference in the submission name for both of these. The next thing that should be on your radar is the project poster. So these are optional for the teams, but highly recommended. The poster session will take place on Saturday evening after the division presentations and gives teams an opportunity to see the various designs across all of the divisions in one location. So this does provide an opportunity to showcase your unique solutions to the other teams who may not have been able to attend your presentation. At a minimum, please include the information in your project summary. And these posters should be submitted by April 14th as a PDF. And all teams should plan to print a version of their poster and bring it to Design Challenge Weekend. Another exciting submission that teams are encouraged to take part in is the optional film. So this film should be 3 minutes or less and essentially highlight your team's experience with the Design Challenge Weekend. So as I mentioned, formatting requirements for these are 3 minutes or less. Please submit as a .mov file or .mp4 file. Follow the file naming convention seen here, and please stick to the content, the broad content description provided here as well. And with that, I will hand it back to Rachel.
All right. Design Challenge Weekend. This is a very exciting time for the organizers and teams. We love to welcome you to NREL and to Design Challenge Weekend. So we will be asking teams to complete event registration. This does close on March 31st, and it is very important that every team member that plans to be in attendance complete event registration. At least 1 and up to 5 students may attend. 1 faculty lead is encouraged to attend, but is not required. So please note the organizers do not provide financial assistance, but we do have a hotel lodging room block available, and that will be communicated via the project site. Most meals are provided at no cost during the weekend through our generous sponsors. We're grateful for their contributions. And teams can also bring an exhibit. You can see those in some of the pictures from previous Design Challenge Weekend, such as the United States Military Academy in the bottom right here with their orange 3D printed house design. And they're hopefully constructing that here, which we're really excited about. But teams can bring an exhibit, and we have information about that as well that will be going out through the project site. So look for that. So we said, participation in the competition weekend, please complete event registration. And then we will also offer off-site participation. So for those team members that cannot attend in person, we will have an option to view all the presentations by webinar and also Sunday morning activities with the exception of the Career Connections Fair via webinar as well. So the awards banquet and awards ceremony will be available via the project site. We will post more information on that closer to Design Challenge Weekend. So the Visiting NREL Guide will be posted to the project site. Please review this carefully. This will be posted on the event registration site as well. It includes information for foreign nationals if you have not done that paperwork yet, information about the hotel block, which is optional for teams, and directions to traveling to the National Renewable Energy Laboratory. Please consider the Colorado climate when traveling as well. We have had both very extreme winter conditions, such as you see in this picture, and very late spring conditions with very warm weather during this particular weekend in April, so all weather is a possibility. Here's some more examples on our exhibits and scale models. We do ask that your team put their name on the model in some way so that if it gets separated from your team, we know who to get it back to. The exhibit guidance will be available on the project site. Please note that models are optional and that all shipping and transportation costs are the responsibility of the team. We love seeing these, and they are always a great addition to your presentation and poster during the weekend. So with that, we hope you'll share the excitement using the hashtag Florida Decathlon Design. We love to see your pictures, especially during Design Challenge weekends. So with that, we just want to say thank you to our 2020 Design Challenge sponsors. We're grateful that Mitsubishi Electric and Trane, and then the American Institute of Architects are our host sponsors this year. They will be around during Design Challenge weekend, and then we'll also have representatives during Design Challenge weekend from our education sponsors. There'll be jurors as well as at the Career Connections. So thank you to their contributions. So with that, if teams have questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at sddesign@nrel.gov. We'd be happy to answer your questions throughout this process. Thank you for attending the webinar today, and we look forward to seeing you soon.